Today is September 27th, 2024. To create a bootable USB disk with persistence for both legacy and UEFI PCs. So this will actually be very truly a portable USB stick that you can carry and use it with any computer, whether it be a legacy or UEFI, and also will be very useful for repairing of other Linux distros or even Windows PCs. So the first thing is I will be doing all the work in a FOSSA PUP CE4. And this is I've already downloaded ISO. So the first thing what we want to do is use gparted and then partition the USB stick itself. So I put in the USB stick into the computer, and it's actually 16 gig. So what we have to do is get this prepared so it will function as truly a universal USB, and we'll of course install CE4 ISO within it. So the first thing what we want to do is partition this, and what you want to do is once you get the USB stick in view, what you want to do is create partition table. And this is a UEFI PC, by the way. So normally what you want to do is use GPT in UEFI, but for this USB stick, for it to work both in legacy and UEFI, it has to be MS-DOS. So we'll go ahead and apply MS-DOS, and it's going to wipe the whole disk out. So then what you want to do is right click, and we'll go to insert, and what we want to do is the first partition 512 megabyte, and we will go ahead and FAT32 as a file system, and we'll just go ahead and give it a label of EFI and add. Secondly, what we want to do is create a Puppy partition. In this case, we'll only be installing CE4 ISO. So, but for this, we won't need much at all, and we'll just give it about a little over a gig, and ext4, and we'll just go ahead and say pups, just in case if you want to install more than just one pup. Or let's just give it a 2 gig pups and add. Okay, so next what we want to do is, because of a unique feature of PuppyLInux using a save folder, what we want to do is create a separate save partition within USB. So we'll go ahead and try to give a majority of so about 10 gigs into and we will label this, you can label anything you want, but we'll just for save we'll just partition. I'll just use 2 V's, SAV, so to save 2 V's. So we'll just go ahead and add, and I want to leave a little bit. You notice about 2 gig, I want to leave it for swap partition. But normally if in PuppyLInux, if you have more than 4 gig of RAM, you don't really need the swap, but you don't know what kind of machine you're going to be booting into. So we'll go ahead and leave it at 2 gig of Linux partition, and we'll go ahead and add. Now we're left with the last partition, which is going to be a swap, Linux swap. So this is fine, and then OK, and then now we want to write everything to the USB stick. and it'll take few seconds. Obviously, because you're also going to have save folder within the USB, and the puppy on the USB itself, it's fairly important that you want to get a fast USB stick for this with plenty of space. So depending on the particular size of the USB, you may want to partition with different proportions. So this is done. Now it's important that we want to right click on the first partition and then manage flags, and we want to go ahead and ESP, that's predominantly for UEFI. We also want to make sure that boot is also clicked, because that's a legacy BIOS, and then close. And now the partition of the USB stick itself is finished. So there'll be the first part of this. So we'll go ahead and close it. And now what we want to do is right click and then get a set up and go all the way down to Frugal Pup. So we're on a flexible Frugal installer. We want to get that activated. And first we want to go to settings, and we want to make sure separate save location. So that will be a VV partition that we just created, which is here. And then we also want to check auto save, and then OK. And then we want to start putting in PuppyLInux into USB. Select the source type. We already downloaded the proper Puppy ISO here. ISO. And then we'll just drag this into this window here, and then OK. And then we want to make sure that it goes into a USB partition. So we want to go into SDG, which is the USB stick that we're trying to install to. So we'll go ahead and give it a pups. OK. And then just in case, we will go ahead and give it a separate create a folder. So CE, CE4, CE, and then we want to just go ahead and return key here, and then OK. And then next it wants to know what the save folder location will be. So again, we want to just make sure. So we'll go all the way down, and we've created the save folder with a label of VV, capital V and V. So we'll go ahead and double click on it, and we'll also create a folder within it, so only for save folders. So we'll just give it a small letter SV, save. Let's say SV only, okay? And then so that's for my preference, but you can name it pretty much anything you want. And then we want to return key first before you click on OK. So SV, click, and then OK. It's very important. Okay, so now it's getting ready to go ahead and write it. So it's correct that it's going to be put in the Puppy CE. It's going to be created here, and then it's going to use this ISO that we downloaded, and it's going to save location is going to be under VV partition in a directory of SV, and that's all correct and OK. So it takes maybe about a minute here, so because my slow USB stick here, so it's completed writing the CE file. So let's just go ahead and check. So it's on a second SDG, and there is a CE, and there's several files in there, so that seems like that's have been done correctly. Now next thing what we want to do is get into the boot menu, click button here. So we want to again notify that where the stick is, so it's going to be in SDG 2, and that's where the puppy is installed. So okay, and then that's correct, and then it wants to know where the grub files and so on should go into, and that's going to be SDG1. So that's what we want the files to boot files, so that's okay. And then next is fairly important that we want both MBR, which is legacy BIOS, and then UEFI 64. So we'll just click on both and then click OK, and then OK again. And then this actually is pretty quick. So this is done, and then we're gonna exit, and we want to take a look at the files that's just been written. So let's just go ahead and look at the grub CFG, and right click, and then we'll open it into Genie, and then here is the CE4, and then we want to look at here. Right now it doesn't have the instruction as to where we want the save folder. So what we want to do is we want to go ahead and install give this command psave, and also name of the partition, which are 2 capital V's, and then colon, followed by name of the subfolder, SV in my case, and then go ahead and save. I think that this is probably what you need for the legacy BIOS to save the folder in a proper partition and the folder. But irrespective, I find that you have to do this. And then go ahead and close. And then we'll also take a brief look at the menu list. And there really isn't anything of significance. Normally menu list will be for legacy BIOS. So I think that we're all done as far as that's concerned. And then now we will go ahead and test it in a UEFI machine, but BIOS first. And I'll so this is F1 brings up BIOS in this Lenovo machine, and then secure chip is already disabled, so we can go into secure boot, I should say, is already disabled. And then we're going to go into the CSM, startup CSM is enabled because, and then this is only running a legacy BIOS at this point. And then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and F10 save and exit. So it's simulating only legacy BIOS, non-UEFI. So we'll go ahead and boot into a USB stick that we just created. And there's no internal hard drive on this PC. So I'll just go ahead and F12 to make sure that it's booting into the USB stick, which is the only operating system available. So here it is. And then we will see the Puppy FOSSA PUP64 CE4. So we'll go ahead and enter. And so it's clearly booting in a legacy BIOS PC right now. Because it's a first time boot, there's no save folder, so we should get a quick setup screen. So here it is. So we'll just do a quick setup here, and we'll go all the way down to America and Los Angeles time, and then firewall enabled is fine, time from internet is fine, and then we'll go ahead and OK. What we want to do is make sure that persistence work on this legacy BIOS from the USB stick that we just created. So firewall is started, and then you can see down here, and synchronized time is fine, and then rest of it is so what we want to do is reboot, and this time make sure that we do a save the save folder. So just to make it easy, when we reboot, that we'll go ahead and change, we'll just remove the trash, and then we'll just put this over here, just to be certain right away that indeed persistence does work. So we'll do that, and then we'll just go ahead and simply leave, reboot, and we want to save this time. And you should save it in the third partition under SV folder. So right now there's no save folder present there. So we'll go ahead and save, and then let it go ahead and reboot. So it is saving session to, it had a brief a message that it is saving under SV folder. So now if save folder has been created, then we should not get a enter, we should not get a quick setup screen again. So we'll just go ahead and wait. So do we get a save folder, FOSSA PUP64 SDA3, which is all correct, so that's loading. So indeed, it did it did create a save folder, and now it's loading that folder that was saved. So now we have a new icon here, save icon here. And then you can see that this retains the change, position change that we put it into. And then third thing is there's automatic mount of the save folder partition, which is all correct, and in that it is indeed saving. Here's the file that's just been saved. So under legacy BIOS, it works fine. Now what we want to do now is change the BIOS, and then make sure that there is another similar save folder that will be created with a UEFI BIOS. So first thing I want to do is I'll go ahead and change the name of this folder, because I don't want a UEFI to go ahead and load up that folder. Then you'll never get to the quick setup, initial setup screen in UEFI. So just to change the name, I'll just put a small dash there. That way, the FOSSA PUP CE4 will not recognize this as a save folder. So so we'll just go ahead and rename that. And then now we'll go ahead and reboot. And then we don't have to save now, but it automatically saves it. Oh, so no, it doesn't. So we don't have to save it now, okay? And then now I have to tap on F1 to get it into BIOS menu again. So yes, we are into the BIOS menu again. Now we'll go to the startup tab again, go to CSM. This time we are gonna disable CSM. Now it only has a UEFI BIOS. There's no legacy BIOS. Now I'll go ahead and run the UEFI save and exit F10. We wanna save configuration reset. And then since there's only one bootable device, which is the USB memory stick we created, it'll just load into it without me prompting in any way. So we'll just go ahead and wait. We should get a FASA PUP C4 again. So that there it is, and we'll just go ahead and enter. Now it's only in UEFI now. So we should get a same quick setup screen. Here it is. So it did not load up that the save folder because I changed the name. So we'll just go through the same similar procedure. We'll go down to America and Los Angeles time. And then we'll just go ahead and exit now. And then just to make it more interesting, we'll go ahead and remove the trash again. But this time we'll go ahead and put these down here just to quickly prove that in UEFI mode that USB stick works as expected. And then we'll go ahead and reboot. And then we will save it, yes. We'll have to reboot, and then we should not see a quick setup screen, and we should also see a change in desktop icon where we left it if the save folder has been created and operational. So we'll just go ahead and enter again without waiting. So you can see that it is actually loading up the save folder under SV again, this time in UEFI environment. So it's all working properly as expected. Yes, indeed, we get this save icon again, which is what we expect, and we see these are much lower than the first time when we saved it. And similarly, there is a save folder with this partition already mounted. There is the one from legacy BIOS, and this is from UEFI. So this helps to prove that this USB stick that we created will work both in legacy and UEFI BIOS setting. So now at this point, if you wanna you wanna change the name of this so it doesn't boot up into another PC that if you plan to use it on another PC, for example. So that's how, or if you want, since that this PC does not have internal hard drive, you want to go ahead and configure it to your preference, then you can go ahead and continue on and just use save folder. So this USB stick clearly is very functional in a environment where you have no internal hard drive. So I hope this is helpful. So we've gone through the USB bootable stick that has persistence built in, and that works both in legacy and EFI environment. I hope this has been helpful.